IJ practiced yesterday, which was huge for us because we really needed to have good practice after performing so poorly in Oxford on Tuesday. And his leadership, just being back out there, he was sore afterwards. I had actually just walked by, didn't get a chance to talk to him very long because I was rushing to get in here, and I'll stick my head back in there. Amar did not practice yesterday. I'm hoping that he'll be able to get out there some today, and neither did Mario. Mario banged his knee during that game, and didn't really bother him after. But then when we got here late Tuesday night around midnight, it started to really bother him and swelled up, so he wasn't able to go. And he received treatment on Wednesday, and so hopefully he's feeling better today. So neither one of those two were able to practice yesterday, but yet we still had what I thought was a productive practice after a extensive film session.
You expect it to just be a game day call on?
Pardon me?
You expect it to be a game day decision on it?
No, I won't know more until today, so I can't say that because we still have another 26 hours.
When you think back to that first matchup with Tennessee and things, what can you carry over from that you learned up in Knoxville that you can carry over into Saturday?
Well, they're really good. We played them tough. The first half we had a couple missed layups that actually would have given us the lead if we just made a couple layups. We were down 3 at halftime. But they've been playing spectacularly from that game forward in terms of 4 wins in a row. Beat Kentucky at home, beat Kansas State, just crushed Auburn on the road in their last game. I think they have at least three road wins in the SEC already, and played Florida to a really close game. I know they beat A&M. I know they beat Vanderbilt. I know they beat Auburn on the road. So they're playing well. Hubbs is really a good player. I mean, watching film on him, he was dominant in our game. He was dominant against Kentucky, and he really is a tough matchup. Grant Williams is a heck of a freshman. I mean, he'll definitely be all freshman team. I mean, he's a beast. Really an interesting kid. When you looked at, he could have gone to Harvard or Yale, and his mom's a NASA engineer. Really well spoken. Really a neat story, and so they have depth at every position. They've got a couple guys at each position, so they just keep coming at you. Schofield's playing really well. You compare Schofield, what he did going into the league, to what he's done now. It's really impressive. I'm not surprised by it because I really thought he was good last year as a freshman when we were watching him.
In that second half against Tennessee, you talked about how physical they were the whole ball game up there, but I guess 50-something points you gave up in that second half. What were they able to exploit in that second half that you were able to identify?
They really took it at us inside and got the ball around the basket. Ducking us in, getting too easy paint touches. So we're going to have to do a lot better at defending in the post in this game to give ourselves a chance to have success. They did a good job defensively. I mean, they've got a good team. I mean, that's why they're projected right now to be in the NCAA tournament. I mean, they're a good team. It's interesting because they're, again, not tall, but just really wide and tough and thick. And, Hubbs has been really impressive, too. Hubbs is one of the better players in the SEC.
What was the mood like with your guys that practiced yesterday coming off that old?
Well, I think after watching the film and just seeing how poorly we played and, all the areas that we continue to talk about and, have to improve to be able to compete in our league, that I thought it was a very good practice. And it's back to fundamentals. That's what's tough when you're playing 2 games a week and you're going game after game after game after game with a team this young, where we're playing with so many young kids. And we still need so much fundamental teaching and just getting back to basics. This is just the basics of what we need to do, and that's something that we did yesterday, and I thought it helped us. We did it after the last time we played these guys. You know, we came back and had a really good practice that Monday and against Tennessee. So, you know, having good practices, you know, I feel help you in terms of your confidence and preparations for games. And when you're playing game after game, sometimes it's hard because you don't want to kill your guys because, you know, you're playing so many games. You know, like that last stretch, we went 9 straight days in a row because of the change from the Tuesday to a Wednesday game. So that forced us to take Sunday off after we got back from Tennessee, and then we went Monday, Tuesday, all the way through, and our next day off was this last Wednesday.
Against Ole Miss the other night, Schneider had 1 shot attempt the whole game. How do you get him more involved offensively?
Yeah, we've got to get him the ball more. There's no question that's a problem for us. I was looking at that stat again this morning. That's a big deal. And then he's got to get more offensive rebounds. You know, I mean, in our last game, we had 2 starters get an offensive rebound. And that was Eric Holman and then Mario Kegler. Mario wasn't even credited with one. They missed it in the stats because he had a follow miss on a shot where, you know, it was point blank, you know, should have gone in. I don't know why the stats didn't pick up on it. We should make sure we correct that. We want every offensive rebound we can get because that's a real problem for us. But I tell you, the biggest thing in that game when you watch it and you go back is the transition defense. And we were so poor in that area. And something we talk about every game. So, you know, yesterday we spent a lot of time, and every time that we screwed up on it, you know, we paid for it. That's how it's got to be again today. I don't like to do a lot of transition stuff the day before a game. We have to today. Well, we have to do some transition defense stuff today because we're just, and you see that when you're not doing a good job in that area, so many open threes and things that they're just, you know, crazy that shouldn't be happening now this late in the season.
Why do you think that was a problem?
Well, I think part of it is not having IJ. You know, in other words, our scheme of having 1 and 2 back and who stops the ball and who has the hole, and then, you know, guys not executing. You know, we had some guys that just, you know, were caught up in the game and they're ball watching rather than doing their job. Watching the film yesterday was very evident to our team, showing them, you know, over and over, okay, here it is again. And a big part, not communicating. Our guys have got to get better at talking. So like when you get back, it's one thing. It's, I got the ball. You take him. I mean, there's not enough communication going on. And by far the best guy on our team at doing that is IJ. It's not even close. I can't even give you a second. And that's sad. I mean, we've got to get better and get our young guys better at talking in transition and communicating with one another.
Just to clarify, considering he practiced, do you expect him to play Saturday, or were you referring to him when you said that you wouldn't know yet?
The question was, I think, to Lamar, I thought. But, you know, I mean, he practiced yesterday, and he's planning on practicing today, but I'm not counting any of my, ducks till they're in. I mean, you know, you just don't know.
Is it difficult right now?
I'm surely hoping so.
It's difficult right now. Some of these young guys, you know, won state championships. They've never really experienced a ton of adversity, you know, in the last couple weeks, you know, losing 4 or 5 or whatever. Maybe their first time to ever go through a stretch like this. Is attitude still high? You have to coach their spirits.
You know what?
Up,
I mean,
right?
I think the toughest thing is just how long it is, just what a grind it is. They've never been through this kind of grind. That's the difficult part. You know, this thing started back in June. We went to Italy. We came back. They had 2 weeks off, but we're starting school, so you have all that responsibility. You know, and then you get into a season where it's so much longer than a high school season. There's so much more involved in terms of the preparation, the film, you know, the quality and level of the players, the travel. It's just a completely different experience. That's why, you know, the best thing about being a freshman or having a freshman is to become sophomores. You know, you've heard coaches say that before because it's like, you know, everything is new. Everything they're experiencing is still new, a lot of these guys. Including, you know, the fact that it's an incredible grind compared to anything they've experienced in the past. And they're all going to be better for it.
With where you guys are at right now, how does that compare to what you thought you guys would be at this point in the season?
You know, I didn't have any preconceived as to where I thought we'd be at this point in the season. And to me, it's always one game at a time and trying to get better and trying to deal with the adversity of the injuries and the different things you have to deal with any team. But, you know, we're, you know, after the first round, 4-5, and we've got a very tough schedule. I mean, the one thing about our league this year, when you compare it to the previous couple of years, this league's a lot better than it's been. Again, it's trending upward when you look at it. When you look at the teams in our conference and how young they are and the talent that's coming in next year in our conference, and you know, right now, you know, you're looking at SEC, you're looking at 5, maybe 6 teams getting the NCAA tournament berth right now. I mean, there's a lot of competition in this league and a lot of good teams. And you know, Georgia had a great chance to beat Kentucky, you know, the other day at Kentucky. I mean, there's a lot of parity. I mean, Alabama's been playing so good, they just got crushed at Arkansas. I watched that game doing the radio show the other night. So this league is good. There's good players, good coaches, and that's what makes it exciting. That's what it's all about. I think the SEC is really, really on its way back to being, again, one of the best basketball conferences in the country, and I think you'll see that in the years ahead. And consequently, you know, it's very tough for, you know, to win. Every game is a war. So, you know, we've got it's just one game at a time. We're playing a team that we know is going to come in here extremely focused in that they have a chance to be in the NCAA tournament this year. So they're looking like this. We have to win this game to get to the tournament. And that's kind of, you know, mindset that we're going to be facing here Saturday, and we've got to be up to that challenge, and we've talked about that.
Anything else?